Yum! Cardboard.
How's it going, YouTube Nation? The homie Game Guru back for another video. And this video, as you saw in the title, I want to talk about crowdfunding and a lot to do with what's happening with Keanu Reeves and the BRZRKR campaign, those companies that offer services to get you more views and backers, and even my own campaign as well. But to start off, let's talk about the big elephant in the room. Everyone's been talking about it already, the whole BRZRKR campaign with Boom Studios and Keanu Reeves that's on Kickstarter. A lot of people who are in this industry are very angry about it. A lot of smaller people are angry about it. I know a lot of other channels have talked about this and have gone to great lengths to cover this. I'm late to the game, but it's to give a different perspective. And I'm going to tell you right now that I don't see anything wrong with what Boom Studios and Keanu Reeves are doing. Yes, Keanu Reeves is a rich guy. Yes, Boom is one of the bigger comic book companies. They could easily afford to come out with this book and have success with it without a Kickstarter campaign. But what I'm going to explain is that it really has no effect on other campaigns whatsoever. Now, Kickstarter is a great way for any business to engage directly with fans and to offer things that you normally wouldn't be able to get out there. For a lot of the larger companies and larger producers, and some of them I even know, they like doing Kickstarter because, frankly, they don't like Diamond distribution. And I won't go into a big explanation about Diamond, but for those who know comic books, they know the control that Diamond has in the industry. And they don't want to go through the hassles of having to go by what they dictate you have to do in order to give variants or incentive covers through then retailers to then get them to the audience. You could just do it directly. And of course, us small guys, we just live off of that, trying to come out with variants and, sign copies and this and that to get to the consumer. And ultimately, I think that's the point, that Boom Studios and Keanu Reeves want to do something where they can engage directly with fans and give them something that they normally wouldn't be able to get, especially with conventions not happening right now. Now, the main point I want to get across is that the comic book industry is unlike any other industry in the world. And I'm not just saying that out of bias because, I'm a small-time publisher myself and a fan of comic books. Let's use Blu-ray players, for example. It doesn't matter if it's Sony, Panasonic, Toshiba, Samsung, whoever makes Blu-ray players. They ultimately do the same thing. One might have a little bit more bells and whistles and do a little bit more features, but ultimately a Blu-ray player's job is to play your Blu-rays. And as long as the price is right and it has the features you're looking for, really, even if you're a Sony fan, if Toshiba has a comparable Blu-ray player, you're going to buy that Blu-ray player if the price is right and it's convenient for you. Comic books don't work like that. If you're a Spider-Man fan, you're a Spider-Man fan. It doesn't matter what I produce. It doesn't matter what Marvel produces. It doesn't matter what DC or Image or Dark Horse or anyone else produces. If you're a Spider-Man fan, you're a Spider-Man fan. You might not like the writer at a certain time. You might not like the artist at a certain time. You might not like the direction that the company's going with the character. But if you truly love that character, you love that character. And this translates into Kickstarter. If someone, let's just say one of you guys has a comic book out there, and you have it on Kickstarter. The fact that Keanu Reeves is on Kickstarter does not take away from your campaign. It's not like someone's at the computer like, oh my God, okay, I'm just about to back this comic book I've never heard of before. Keanu Reeves. Okay, forget it. I'm not going to back this anymore. That's not realistic. That doesn't happen. Actually, the opposite happens. And I'm going to give you an actual example out of my campaign, which I'll explain later. This stuff around me, this is part of my Kickstarter campaign to promote indie comics through my own handmade action figurines. But with this Kickstarter that's ongoing right now, I'd like to engage with my backers and talk to, let them give my updates, which we all do. And many times those backers will message me myself. And one of my backers did. I don't know how old this gentleman is. I know he's a man, but he actually told me that this was his first time on Kickstarter. He stumbled upon my campaign when he was just browsing through. And the whole reason why he's on Kickstarter is purely because of the BRZRKR comic by Keanu Reeves and Boom Studios. That is why he's on Kickstarter. So I pressed a little bit more, like wanting to learn more. And pretty much we both admitted that we like Keanu Reeves in Constantine. Like, I love the guy who plays Constantine now in the CW. Great character. But, we're both fans of the classic movie with Keanu Reeves in it. But he's never been able to go to comic book conventions where he's there. He's never been able to get his autograph. So when he found out about this Kickstarter campaign, he pretty much logged on and signed up to Kickstarter for the first time ever. Just so, I guess, get exclusive. I didn't ask him what he got, but I guess to get those exclusives that he would never normally get, which again is the benefit of why Kickstarters like Keanu's and even other big ones. Like I know, from Cerbis the Aardvark to Earthworm Jim, many big creators have used this platform to get directly to their fans, and there's nothing wrong with that. So here you have this hardcore fan who's always wanted maybe some signed stuff from Keanu Reeves. He's never been able to get it at a convention or at some premiere or whatever. So now he has that chance to pay big money and get it directly, knowing that he's going to get it. And once he signed up and got into Kickstarter for the first time, he did what many people do. They start perusing. They start, okay, what else is on this website that I just joined? And I'm just lucky enough that he found my campaign. So, okay, this guy makes toys out of cardboard, out of comic book heroes. Okay, let me pick one up. And he picked up one of my Golden Age heroes, Ace Harlem. Do I have him here? Yep, Ace Harlem right there. So this is why I'm just assuming he's an older guy. Because another thing we have to understand is that Kickstarter for my generation, Generation X, Generation Millennials and Generation Z, of course we all know what Kickstarter is. But for baby boomers or older Generation X, they're not Kickstarter fans. They don't use the website. So having this big celebrity use a site like Kickstarter or Indiegogo or whatever crowdfunding portals are out there, it brings in new people into the world of crowdfunding, and then they can explore and find other campaigns that will get their interest. I know I normally wouldn't have gotten this guy if it wasn't for Keanu Reeves. So for you creatives out there who are getting all in a fluster and getting pissed off because Boom Studios and Keanu or any other major creator and studio comic book publisher does this, I just think you're barking up the wrong tree with this. It doesn't affect you whatsoever. It does not take away from fans of your work and people who like what you do. And if anything, it can add more people to the campaign and add more to what you're trying to achieve. But of course, leave your comments and argue with me. Let's have a debate. I have no issue with that. Maybe there's something that I missed. I'd love to know. All right, the next thing I want to cover in this video, for all of you who have done Kickstarter campaigns or Indiegogo, any crowdfunding campaign, the minute you launch your campaign, you get barraged by all these companies that want you to pay them money in order to get you more views, to get you more backers, to get you Superbackers and all this kind of stuff. My campaign is about 700% over its goal. It's doing quite well. It's kind of stagnating right now, but you go with the ebbs and flows of campaigns. But everything that I have achieved up to this point, I've done myself. Doing the hard work, the legwork, emailing, promotion, all that myself, which it takes a lot of time, but saves me money. But anyways, you will get bombarded. And I know a lot of people, I've seen chat rooms where people are always asking, especially those new to crowdfunding, should I use these services? Are they scams? I'm going to give you my personal experience because this is actually my 6th Kickstarter. I failed miserably my first 3, and I went in there complete noob, completely wet behind the ears on it. Then finally, by my 4th one, I had just enough success to get me over the hump. Then my 5th one, a little bit better, but it's because my artist who was with me working on my comic book Paper Rock Scissors Stuff Wars, his fan base and his friends really took us over the edge. And now this one, completely by myself, but working with independent comic book creators, is my most successful to date. So I have some experience in this. And I have used some of these services in the past. And what I'm going to tell you is that from my experience of using some of these companies, and I'm not naming any of them because I'm not giving them free publicity, but they're not scams. Many of them I'm sure are, but the ones I use are not scams. They actually delivered what they said they were going to deliver, but there's a caveat to that. And it's that caveat you have to understand. When they tell you we can get you in front of 1 million backers, there's nothing disingenuous about that. The problem is simply getting you in front of eyes does not mean crap. That is the issue. Let me give you an example and a great way to test this out. Completely for free. On Facebook, sign up to one of the hundreds, if not thousands, of crowdfunding groups that you'll find on Facebook. There's tons of them. Free to sign up. Most of them will accept you, and post your project on there and watch what happens. If you're lucky, you might get 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 thumbs up. Most people get nothing. And you know why most people get nothing? It's not about the strength of your project or your presentation or how good or bad it is. It's because there's such a constant flow of new products, new projects coming in over and over. Like once you put it in there, in the group, just give it an hour and then go back and check that group. And you'll see your campaign's already at the bottom of the page. Just a constant flow. Now imagine being one of these Superbackers or one of these backers that these companies are referring to. They get a barrage every single day of these campaigns to the point they're ignored. So on my third campaign, my last failure, I paid for one of these services, one of the well-known ones. And I paid about $100 to get their package, their full package. And again, I talk to my backers. I look for feedback. I want to know what is good, what is bad, what I can improve upon, how you found out about my campaign. And not a single one of the people who did end up backing the campaign, even though it failed on Kickstarter, found out from this backer company. Not a single one. When I checked, yes, they gave me this whole chart and breakdown of the thousands upon thousands who saw my stuff. But it didn't really mean anything because I guarantee those thousands upon thousands of people get thousands upon thousands of crowdfunding campaigns sent to them constantly. And I tried another one where it was social media. So this person, and I regret nothing. Like I actually used it this time around. I actually paid, the price was incredibly low, like a price of 2 cups of coffee. So I was like, okay, let me try this. They put on their social media. It was on there for a couple of days and taken down. I didn't even know when it was up. I got no notice that it was put up, but they proved that it was put up. And again, it resulted in nothing. Now, because the price was so low, like $10, I didn't feel any ways about it. But, you know, they then tried to upsell it. Well, you know, if you want real coverage, you need to go up to the higher tier. And even a better story than that. There's one of the major backer help companies that they will allow you to list your campaign on their site for free. Completely for free. You put it on there, whatever, and then eventually gets lost in shuffle. Eventually, about a week to 2 weeks after you list, they will message you and tell you that, you know, it's time to move up to one of the paid packages or we'll have to delete your campaign. So I was fine, like delete it. It hasn't done anything for me. Doing it for free at one short period, it was #1 on your page because it was brand new before it got bumped down by more and more and more, but it hasn't done anything for me. Ultimately, what I'm trying to tell you guys is that if you decide to use these services, again, many of them are not scams. They're legitimate, and I'm sure they're success stories. But, you know, it has a lot to do with what kind of product you have, what kind of audience you can get. Like if you have a tech product, if you have a brand new cool as hell invention, you're going to get views. You're going to get people interested. My thing is very obscure. I make handmade crafts that are toys, that are action figures based on independent comic books many people have never heard of. So doing these backer groups, doing these services does not really benefit me. It makes more sense for me to take that $100 and invest it into my own press releases, invest it into my own strategies that I control and I can put to specific groups in order to promote my stuff. And the biggest success I've had is that I've targeted specific media. Like I've been blessed. I've had Geekorama. I've had Forever Geek. I've had Thrilling Detective, website about detectives. So they covered Ace Harlem. I've gone websites. I've been very targeted to the websites that I go after and pitch a specific press release to them. Again, it takes time, but that I control. That only costs me my time, very little money, and it creates dividends. So I would say save your money. And if you do want to spend money, go to Fiverr. You could pay someone $5, $10. And again, I did it. $5, $10. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, okay, those 2 less cups of coffee that I'm going to have this week. And on a final note, I'm going to share my campaign And I also want to give props and respect to my sponsor, Pop Culture Canada. They do Comic Cons for the small market, and we small printers, because again, I self-publish comic books as well. For small publishers, their Comic Cons that they hold all over Ontario in very small market towns and cities that the big conventions will never go to. And the price point is great to get a table. They get a good steady crowd of people coming in. And what's great about Pop Culture Canada is that they give back. They raise funds and they collect food from multiple food banks. So I know they've been hit hard by this because, as we all know, comic book conventions have been canceled all over North America. It doesn't matter if it's San Diego, New York, Toronto, Vancouver, worldwide as well, because they're big gatherings, and I really hope they're able to figure out what they can do. But I know Pop Culture Canada, they do small cons, but it's also difficult for them. But they do great work, and the beauty of their business model is that it's about giving back. It's not just about making money, they give back. So I'm going to put their Facebook in the description area and more contact information. Check them out. They're great people to deal with, and I'm honored that they pretty much picked up every single cardboard figurine I've made in the set, all of them, as one tier, and now they're my sponsor, and I really appreciate that. I love when businesses help us small guys try to make it. But just to end off this video, my campaign ends on the 30th of September of this month. I make handmade, articulated, magnetized superhero action figurines based on great independent comic book characters. So this one is mine, La Crossa, based on a book I made called Super Powerful Bonanza. I'm just going to browse. So this is even the box is made by hand, back design as well. And what you see, again, movable parts, fully articulated. It's magnetized on the back, so you can put on any metal surface, but I also have display stands that you can put them on. So this is one of my display stands, as you can see here. And so you can put it in the office, wherever you want. I've made them on a multitude of characters. And the beauty of what I'm doing is that these are all limited edition. They will be discontinued immediately after the campaign's done. I'm not producing any more. They're never going to be reprinted. They've all been approved by their creators. So Usagi Yojimbo was approved by Stan Sakai. It's already sold out, folks. Gone. Auric of the Great White North, Davis and Andrew approved it. Nira X, Belmaz approved it. Zen the Intergalactic Ninja, who's behind me, the creators approved it. All these characters, a wicked new horror character called Muffin Man. I have 16 characters altogether. They will be signed by their creators. So the creators of Zen the Intergalactic Ninja will sign it for you, and the limited amount of copies I'm making of it. Same thing with all the other characters. I've done my own characters, I'll be signing it. And it's meant to be a rare collectible that'll mean something. That, if you're an action figure fan out there, you know that many of these companies just mass produce to death many of these figurines. I love my action figures. I collect action figures. But I want this to be something that means something. As a collector, as a fan of many of these properties, I want you to have something that truly is heartfelt. It was made intricately by me, by hand, no machinery. All the materials are from North America, Canada, and the United States. It's signed by the creators, approved by the creators. Therefore, these are official, real collectibles of each of these characters. And I said, I'm looking forward to sending them out. The campaign's doing well. I said 700% over its goal. Just 14 days left, and I hope you guys will be interested in getting a piece of comic book history. And for all you Kickstarter people out there trying to do your own campaigns, I wish you the best success and luck. Just work at it. It's a second full-time job, but it's well worth it when it pays out in the end. So I'm the Homie Game Guru. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Stay safe out there. All the best success to you guys all. Bye.